lot of vista, there is a lot of story, a lot of side story, side quests.
Look, just doing Midgard.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the first part of the game will be Midgard.
Oh Jesus! It means that it would go about 6 games. It's like
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm not going through 6 games. Like paying 6 times for a remake that is not a remake, but it's a retelling and it's gonna be really great.
And
Just like we did with Final Fantasy 13. Their track record are really bad right
It
now.
will run till the PlayStation 7.
Man, I'm
Or
just
PlayStation 6. I don't know. But I think just doing Midgard will take them at least 2 or 3 years.
well, that is their problem.
We'll see that. We'll see that first part like in 2 or 3 years. That's what I think.
Yeah, but as for me, I would just I just don't want to see this
Look at
remake
that shit.
being made. Yeah, it looks shitty. I don't care. It works.
You don't want it to be okay. I can get your point, but the thing is that you don't even care about the new games anymore.
These are 2 separate things.
Okay, but
There is one thing that feeling that new games doesn't really fill my needs. There is a thing about me needing to play games or just do other stuff that would grant me like some more personal growth. And there is this freaking remake that I never asked for. It's a really French thing. Sorry. I'm fine with this game. It's like playing Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo. I am fine with the original. Why would I want to change it? And I feel that changing this game to put it like to a consistent level of 2015 high level of quality, you would just lose the pacing out of it. I just feel you would lose the pace because, as you said,
pace.
Yeah, the
it's
pace.
probably the worst game for the pace. It's an RPG, man.
What is that?
You waste. Whoa.
This
you
is-
waste more than half the time you're playing the game reading that fucking text.
Well, the text is the game. The text is the story. Sorry, we are skipping the text, but man, well.
Yeah, the text is the story. Exactly my point.
The text is
We will
the game.
have it in cinematics, and we will have it in like probably a bit of text, but probably more than voiceover and voice acting.
To be perfectly honest with you, these days I enjoy more text than cutscenes.
Then that's exactly my point, and that's what
That
I
is
was-
not your point.
Whoa.
Jesus!
Listen to me.
What?
You don't listen to me.
You don't let me speak, and then you try to just interpret how do I think, and then what?
You just told me that you are not interested in the new kind of game with voice acting and cinematics, and that's exactly what I was telling you before we start arguing about this, because this is part of the fact that you are not interested in the new video games anymore.
Stop pointing fingers at me! You are not interested in games anymore. Just whoa, hey, oh, ah. Well, for this point, I can agree.
You're the one who told me that, man.
Yeah, for this point, I can, but I don't like your tone. Just saying you don't like this anymore, and you shouldn't. Whoa, hey, whoa, Jesus.
You don't like this anymore.
I will say it if I want to. Just don't point fingers at me, man.
No, I was asking you if maybe this was not like part of the cause why you're not interested in the remake.
If the kind of new design approach, well, if I
Exactly,
wasn't,
yeah.
I'm not interested in this remake specifically. I don't have a thing against remakes in general, or maybe yes, maybe
Would you
no.
mind-
I just
Would you mind a remake of Resident Evil 2?
there was a remake of Resident Evil 2, like on the N64.
No, they're doing it right now. Actually, they're doing it.
Oh yeah, well I didn't even know.
Now you know.
Okay, well, I don't have this game as close to my heart as Final Fantasy VII, even have this game close to my heart, Final Fantasy VII. I'm not totally enamored by it. I just feel that, well, doing a remake of Resident Evil 2, if they do it right, it could work. With the remake of the old Resident Evil, they are still using like pre-rendered background, and for me, it just pre-rendered background. For me, they give like these dramatic camera angles that Final Fantasy VII had, as opposed to like Final Fantasy VI was one of the big upgrades, and that also give a way of controlling the game. So when you go to like location to location, you can have some ellipse. Some ellipse in between the screen, so you can really control the pace at which you travel throughout the environment. So I feel from what I've seen, the new remake won't have that, and I feel that it's one of the key part of Final Fantasy VII. I just feel that it really helps the flow of the game, that you can travel really fast and see a lot of shit just without worrying too much, and you don't get spoiled. You don't get spoiled like those big vistas by just placing your camera and just expecting it way before you're reaching it. These camera angles. Sorry, I'm speaking English very bad. They also give dramatic shots of the environment instead of just having the player controlling it, so it adds to kind of the cinematic feeling of the whole game. So from what I've seen, they're not gonna have that, and it's kind of just gonna break a bit of the system of what this is. So what they did with Resident Evil, they
I'll explain how material works. Tutorial.
Yeah. Well, at least it's for like a 40 hours long game. But like this. Yeah, I'm giving it to you.
Alright, sorry to interrupt you. You may continue.
So yeah, I feel that this is gonna get lost in the remake. I also feel that they're gonna add some cinematics. With another point that really annoyed me about Final Fantasy X and onward were the voice acting. I felt it was feeling really Japanese.
Yeah.
And I don't like their style.
And I'm okay with you, but in Final Fantasy X, I think where they lost it is that they were like, oh look, now we have nice cinematic, we can do everything in voice, so just get lost in it and do like straight line and fuck off with that RPG, just go forward and smash some buttons and like 10 minutes of cinematic and 2 minutes of going forward and 10 minutes of cinematic and 2 minutes of going forward.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a problem. And yeah, I'm okay with you on that. And I think if they're not careful about it, they could do the same mistake.
Well, they did it with Final Fantasy X, they did it with Final Fantasy XIII. They kind of do it okay on Final Fantasy XII, but it was an half-finished game, kind of weird.
It was shit.
And well,
I said it was shit.
Jonathan, if you are going to say that a game is total shit, but when I say it, it's not okay. Please try to explain your opinion. Please give me the same privilege of saying that something is shit, or do take the time of explaining why something is shit. Either one would be nice with me. Either one would be nice.
I just don't want to stop you again.
Of course. That is. So, another thing about the Final Fantasy trend since the 10 is the old voice acting and forcing me to hear the dialogues with the voice actor that have, I think they're pretty good, but they can't be like the Japanese inflection of speaking. Sometimes they have like the girls have really high-pitched voice. The kind of character feels really Japanese to me, and it's not a bad thing per se, but I don't like it. I feel it makes me feel like a pedophile, and some people will like it, and I don't mind about that, but I feel that the cultural gap between Japan and the US is getting broader and broader every time that they add more detail and more flesh to it. Oh yeah, sorry. So I feel that this game is gonna get is like this whole dialogue system reworked, so it won't look as basic as this one, and by doing so they're gonna just add more and more like of this Japanese feel to it. So I'm afraid that Yopi is gonna have a really annoying voice, and she's gonna be like this quirky cat girl kind of archetype, and so I'm afraid they're just gonna screw this up, like.
But still, you just think they're gonna screw this up.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're gonna do it.
I don't trust them. Look at their track record. I just feel that the Final Fantasy VII is like some kind of a cash-in on our own nostalgia, and then they're just gonna use their system they are designing on Final Fantasy XV to just kind of paste it like I said before. So I feel that's a cash-in. They are doing this in multiple episodes, more cash-in.
Yeah, but it's an in and out. I think. I mean, it's a good thing and or a bad thing. If they're doing it like episodic and they fail the first one, they're doomed.
Oh yeah,
it's over.
That would be a good deal. Like we played it first, we don't like it, and they can go screw themselves.
Yeah,
I would be okay with that.
So we're back to my point. So my point was they have to do something really good this time, because if they don't, they're losing it for good.
Yeah, and I don't personally care about Square Enix. They can just go to hell if they're not good enough. So seriously, I mean, if they can't make like their best possible game, well, jokes on them. I really like Final Fantasy XIII was the last nail in the coffin. I just felt like this just wasn't for me anymore. I just felt they kind of just lost touch with what made a good Final Fantasy, and I feel that this company really have a hard time. They have like production management issues, because Final Fantasy X, it went out okay, but they had this whole Xenarcan place that they just turned around on their ass saying like, oh well, it was the Ghost World, and you don't really hang out in Xenarcan, so why did they took the time to design this place in the first place? And then you have Final Fantasy XI, which was an MMO. I didn't even bother because screw them. And then Final Fantasy XII, it kind of took a really long time to do, and I didn't play it for its entirety. I finished the game. I felt it was half finished. It was half done. The story just cuts right in the middle. Personal opinion, of course. But I just felt that they had a really hard time just releasing this game. And Final Fantasy XIII, well, it was the flop that we know, and they just designed two whole games to just kind of try to make money out of the engine that they made. And another thing that I've read about Final Fantasy XIII was that apparently, like, the guys on the production floor, they just like design areas. They just design today I'm gonna do a nice world, and I'm gonna do a plane, I'm gonna do like this 3D battleship world, I'm gonna do this wild jungle area, and as if there were no like coherence to the whole aspect of it. And I looked at Final Fantasy VII, and I kind of get the same feeling. I didn't notice that when I was a kid, because I was happy that this game is a total pizza. It has everything in it. It has pepperoni, cheese, pineapple, ham, gross nuggets of, they pretend it's bacon, but it's not bacon. It has everything. It's just so, it's a melting pot. So when I was a kid, I didn't mind, but today I just find that this world has way too much secret influences in it. It doesn't have like this kind of